Welcome back. This is part 2 of our database build series for Microsoft Access. In our last video we created our starting tables and created the relationships for those tables necessary for us to build other portions of our database. On today's video, we will cover how to create queries on the data that we have loaded in our table. We will also begin building our first form for inputting data into our database. Let's get started. Opening our database where we left off in our last video. We will have our data tables for employee, source, transactions, and products. To start creating a new query on these tables, go to the top menu and select Create and Query Design. You will see the Query Build menu as shown. We want to start by bringing in any fields we want to include in our query result. In this case, almost all fields we have created. Add fields from each table by double-clicking on the field name. You will see it populate in the menu on the second half of the screen. Now let's run the query to test the result. Select the Run option on the top menu. If happy with the result, select Save and give your table a name. It's best practice to start query names with QRY and to reduce spaces by using an underscore. You will see the result populate with the fields chosen. Notice that price and quantity are in this query. At a later stage of our build we will use these fields to create a calculation of profit in a separate query. Now let's build our first data input form in our database. Start by selecting the Create menu. From this menu there are two options for creating forms. Selecting the form designer, which will result in a blank form to work with. Or you can highlight a table by clicking on it, and choose the form option. This will generate an already built template with all fields from that table. We can use this as a starting point for formatting and size of our form. By going to the menu on the top left of your screen, you will have the option to toggle between the View, Design, or Layout modes for your form. Each provides different editing options. For moving fields, we will select Design mode. Notice how the default fields are already set to a particular size. These can be removed and you can bring in fields which can be formatted and sized as you would like to see. After clearing the fields you should have a blank form as shown currently. From the Form Design menu at the top of the Access application screen, you will be able to choose different elements for your form. Text boxes and combo boxes will be the items we utilize in today's video. Our first text box will be linked to our transaction number. In our example Dunder Mifflin database, this will be the auto number ID. If you are using an ID in your database that is different, just ensure that you are using a unique value. The properties of this form under the data table will provide the control source. This will connect our actual text box to the data in the table, ultimately allowing us to view and enter new records. This field will be required for each element you place on the page. Next we will add another text box for customer name, using the same property to connect the text box to the appropriate control source. Our next item to add will be a combo box, or drop-down menu for choosing the employee name who created the transaction. You will be prompted with a setup wizard when creating a text box. For our example today we are using the first option. The Setup Wizard will then ask you which table and field you want to use to fill the options in the drop-down menu. In our example we want to choose the employee table and employee name. You have the option for sorting the order of items in your drop-down menu and can always adjust this in Properties after creating if required. The unique key or ID for each of these entries is not required and provides a cleaner view for users when using a drop-down menu. Now we will adjust the location of our new combo box on the form. Let's now run our form to make sure we are happy with the result and see how the form is performing with the combo box we have set up. You can run this by selecting the View option on the toggle button on the top left of the screen. This view is what a user might see when interacting with your form. You can see the drop-down menu provides the options we selected from the employee menu and will automatically populate with the latest employee list as the employee table changes. Let's go ahead and save our form and provide it the name transaction entry. That wraps up part 2 of our video series. On part 3 we will finish building the remainder of our transaction entry form and update properties to give the form a better user experience. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe to help our channel grow. Thanks for watching.